Hey guys, I'm Brittany Rivers and welcome to my channel. We are going to hop right into this video. So today I will be working with this 40-inch, 180% density, 13 by 6 lace front wig from On Fleek Hair on AliExpress. I did buy this wig 100% myself with my own money. I have an unboxing review up on my channel now if you want to check it out. And of course, I'm going to link this wig in the description box. But first things first, we want that 40-inch jet black bust down look. So I'm going to watercolor this hair really quickly. I want that jet black look. So I did boil a pot of water and I just added a little extra water because it didn't fill up the pan all the way. This is just a 13 by 9 pan. You can get it from the grocery store, Dollar Tree, just any kind of pan. Some people use their sink. And I'm going to use this jet black Adore dye. I had maybe 3/4 of the bottle left because I use this bottle for like touch-ups on hair now and then, but I'm just going to pour all of this into the pan. So you might want to put water back in the bottle, kind of swoosh it around, shake it up a little bit so you can make sure you get all of that dye out of that bottle. So I did add a little extra water because I always make my water super duper hot. I've heard some people talk about they get clumps with Adore dye. But y'all, my water, as you can see, is steaming. So that doesn't usually happen to me. And also, you need to mix this water up. So I use an actual mixer, the ones you use in your kitchen, a whisk. That's what it's called, a whisk, you guys. I use a whisk and I'm actually just going to mix this up really well. And then I'm going to dip my wig into the water. I actually did spray a little Got to Be Glue free spray on the lace. You don't have to do that, but you know, I just have anxiety and it's better safe than sorry. I do not want to mess it up, but it's not always necessary. But I'm just spreading the hair around, making sure it gets all in the dye. And then I'm going to leave the hair in this dye for about 30 to 40 minutes. You really can't mess it up, but just at least 20 minutes. So 20 minutes later, I'm back and I'm going to rinse that dye out of this hair. I'm going to rinse the hair off a little bit. And then from there, I'm just going to let it dry. I didn't condition or shampoo the hair or anything. I just rinsed the hair off. So once the hair was dry, this is how it looks. It looks so beautiful, bouncy, still has its luster and all that. I allowed the hair to air dry. So now we need to bleach those knots. So when I bleach my knots, I use BW2 bleaching powder, 50 volume developer if you want to crank it all the way up. So I say 40 or 50 is perfect. And then you need some kind of bowl. You don't need an actual mixing bowl, but that's what I have. I've used a regular bowl so many times. So the mixture is the key for bleaching knots. I just started with 1 scoop. There's really no exact measurements in my opinion, or at least for me. I just used 1 scoop, poured it into the bowl, and from there I'm just more so looking for the best consistency possible. So sometimes I add a little more. If it's too runny, you're going to add more bleaching powder. If it's too thick, you are going to add a little more developer. But you want this mixture to be super thick, like a paste, because when it's too runny, it's going to run through the lace and bleach all of your hair. So you do not want that, of course, you guys. So this is about how much I used my first try, and I like to use a butter knife. That's my little secret. I like a butter knife because you do not want to work the bleach too far into the lace. You just are kind of icing a cake, is what I like to say. You'll see in a second. But I'm basically just icing a little cake. So at this point, I have my bleach too runny. Like when you lift up your knife, your spoon, whatever you use, no bleach should be falling off. So at this point, I was like, yeah, I need to add a little more bleaching powder. So now I'm just going to mix it up. So it's really just trial and error. You're just either adding more bleach too runny more developer too thick. So at this point, you can see we're getting a little closer to the mixture we want. It's not falling off the knife, but I still feel like it could be just a little bit thicker. So I'm just going to add like a little small, tiny bit of powder, you guys. And this is that perfect texture, mixture, consistency that you want. Like you see, like this is like a thick, thick, thick paste. Like this is it, you guys. So as you can see, I turned the wig inside out and placed it on the mannequin head. And I am using that butter knife to just ice the lace. So I'm not working it in too much. I'm literally just putting the bleach on the lace. And also to keep the wig on the wig head, the mannequin head, that you can use T-pins, thumbtacks if you don't have T-pins, a very skinny nail if you don't have either of those. When I finished putting bleach all over the knots on this wig, I took the wig off of the mannequin head and placed it in the sink facing down, so the knot's facing down. That way, gravity is working with you. The other way, the bleach can seep through the knots even if you made it as thick as possible. So if you lay it down like this, the bleach will more so fall off the lace if it does fall instead of sink into the lace. And I kept it on there for like an hour and a half, you guys. So you can't mess this up as long as your bleach is thick enough. um, so as you can see, the knots are almost like a little red like, and that is because I did dye the hair with jet black dye. So that's like the red undertones in the jet black dye you're seeing. So to kind of get rid of that a little bit more, and just to take out any of that weird brassy coloring you get with any kind of bleach, I'm going to add a little purple shampoo to the hair. This is the Shimmer Lights purple shampoo. So I'm just going to apply this on the lace, work it all over the knots, the area we just bleached. And then I'm going to let this sit on the hair for at least 20 to 30 minutes. Um, at the most 45 minutes. So afterwards, you just rinse off that purple shampoo that you put on there 20 minutes later or 30 minutes later, whatever. And this is how my knots looked. Like they were beautiful. Like definitely leave your bleach on for at least an hour. So now we are at the fun part. We need to pluck this hairline. And as y'all can see, this hairline is super duper thick, y'all. The wig is thick, which is great and all that, but like look at this hairline. It's just okay, hold on. It's just extremely full, you guys. So I am just gonna use my brush to kind of brush the hair all back. This is like the next day again. So the hair did air dry overnight, but look at that. Looks beautiful, you guys. So I like my hair to be wet or at least damp when I do pluck the hairline. So I'm going to use a spray bottle. I like for it to be wet because it is easier to pull out hair, but you also have to be careful because it's easier to pull out the hair. So you don't want to end up pulling out too much, but especially if you're working with HD lace, I definitely recommend wetting your hair because that lace rips so easily. So if you're tugging really hard because the hair is dry, you might end up ripping your lace. So I just recommend wetting the hair just a little bit. And I'm kind of doing this in sections. So you have your left side, right side, and then the middle, of course. So you see, the grip is very important. So you see, I'm kind of bracing the hair back with my left hand. I'm right-handed, you guys. And I did part a little bit of the hair forward. You see, I'm parting forward like less than an inch. It's not a lot of hair at all. But the hair that I am gripping in my left hand is going to be the area we are going to pluck from. So, plucking this new way is a lot more easy to me. So, you want to make sure you have slanted tweezers, first of all. Use slanted, they are top tier. And I wish I zoomed in on the tweezers. I'm not sure if I did, but the long side is the side that's going onto the wig. That's the side you're going to be plucking with. And I did have to pluck a little more awkward because I was showing this on camera. But you're going to pluck a little triangle or like a straight line and then skip. Pluck a straight line, then you're skipping. So it's like the thickness of your fingernails you're going to pluck and then skip another line that is the thickness of your fingernail. I hope that's not confusing, but you're just kind of plucking, skipping. Just you kind of see that I'm creating this line of hair and then baldness, line of hair, baldness. You're seeing that. So you're just going to do that throughout the whole length of the wig. But you can see it's kind of coming together, and you see that it's a little line of hair, then it's kind of bald. A little line of hair, then it's kind of bald. So you kind of see what I'm doing. And then when I part that hair that I originally sectioned forward back into the hair, it's going to make a lot more sense, you guys. Because right now, it might look a little weird. But one second, we are going to part that hair back. And things are going to start making a little more sense. So, it doesn't look as bad anymore when I pull that hair back, but you also see it's little thicker portions in the hair that I do want to make a little balder. So at that point, I'm just plucking that little piece out and I'm pulling it forward towards me. And I only do this when I really want to be precise and thin up the hairline a little bit more. But you see the difference just pulling out the smallest strand makes. It's actually really cool when you see it. So now we're going to move on to the middle section, and this section is super important. You could do the widow's peak style if that's what you like. I love a good widow's peak, but I didn't do it this time. Or you can kind of more adhere to your natural hairline. So me personally, I know my temple region goes back a lot further than the middle of my head. So when you're plucking the middle of your hair, you do not want to pluck as heavy as you did on the sides or in the temple region. But we're going to use that same method where we sectioned out a little hair. And then we're just going to pluck, bald, wait. Pluck a little bit to where it's a little bald section. And then leave some hair, pluck a little bit, leave some hair, pluck a little bit, leave some hair. We're doing that same thing over. So then I'm going to bring back the section that I sectioned out a little earlier, and see how the hairline is looking. And from there, I might pull out a few extra strands, like I showed you all before, pull them forward just here and there, just the smallest strands possible. So, just like the smallest little line of hair. And it's going to make a huge difference. So now we're going to move on to the last side, and I'm just going to be doing the method I showed you all earlier. I have a small little section parted out. The hair was drying up a little bit, so of course I had to wet it again, but I'm just going to pluck a little bit, leave it, pluck a little bit, leave a section, pluck a little bit, leave a section, part that front piece of hair back, and then just pluck little extra hairs here and there. I went in on the temple region on this side, but like I told you all, my temples go back a little further, and of course, when I part that hair up front, it's not going to be as thin as it looks now. And that is it, you guys. Tune in to when I actually install this wig or have it installed. But I hope you all enjoyed this video. Remember to like, comment, subscribe. Follow me on Instagram at Madam Brittany. And thank you all so much for watching. Have a great day, you guys. Bye.